Some things are just plain wrong, even if they're legal. It's wrong, for instance, to take advantage of the elderly, even if it's not technically against the law. I'm Keith Ward, and this is Oldpocalypse. That's what's happening when it comes to campaign donations in the U.S., according to a special report from CNN, which I'll link to in the description. And stick around to the end when I give you some pointers to avoid making the same crippling financial mistakes that these older folks did. Now, this scheme comes at an especially sensitive time in America, as I'm recording this just about a week before a presidential election happens. But of course, this is going to be valid during any campaign season, and with politics the way it is, campaign season is pretty much always going on. So this can affect you anytime. Now, CNN reports that elderly people who make a single donation to either candidate or party are soon subjected to a non-stop barrage of texts and emails asking for more money. Now, that's bad enough. What's worse is that these bad actors then try to manipulate the victims into making these payments a recurring thing in the form of weekly or monthly donations to the party or to the candidate or to the organization. And before they know it, these innocent folks have lost huge amounts of money, sometimes including their life savings, and even beyond that, racking up enormous debts. They're often small contributions, but they happen so frequently that the bill quickly becomes gigantic. I'm going to read a few lines from the report here so you can get an idea of what's happening. CNN reported that donors were often in their 80s and 90s and included retired public workers, house cleaners and veterans, widows living alone, and nursing home residents. These people, in some cases, donated more money than they paid for their homes. The article said that the money they gave came from pensions, Social Security payments, and retirement savings accounts meant to last decades. Donors took out new credit cards and mortgages to pay for the contributions. In some cases, they gave away most of their life savings. Their cell phones and email inboxes were so full of pleas for money that they missed photos of their grandkids and other important messages. At least one person continued to be charged for contributions after his death. Two of the worst offenders, according to CNN, were the Republican organization Win Red and the Democratic group Act Blue. The stories of underhanded tactics and manipulation used against older Americans were stunning. I won't go into the details here, but you should absolutely read the report and watch the video that accompanies the report. At the heart of the deception are boxes on donation forms that are pre-checked by default. The pre-checked box is your authorization to withdraw money from your bank account or credit card. Now, did you catch that? When you get one of these forms, either via your phone or on the internet, it's automatically set up to charge you, unless you uncheck the box. Take a look here. Now, you see the box that's already checked? That can be really small and hard to read on a phone or web form if you're looking at it on any small screen. Now, keep in mind that this is one checkbox from one form. It's just an example, although it's real. Now, the boxes are going to look different from form to form and company to company. But the point is that if you don't uncheck the box, you're giving these vultures permission to drain your money from here to eternity. And remember, both sides are guilty here. This isn't a Republican or a Democratic thing. Both parties want your money and are willing to do nearly anything to get it. That is slimy, underhanded, and deceitful in a way that makes my blood boil. They are preying on the elderly and those with memory issues, including dementia, who may not understand at all what they're doing. Some folks, the story reports, were being charged over and over. This is a quote. As a result, records show some donors ended up being charged in excess of 100 times in a single day. Those with severe memory loss can forget that they've recently donated, making this especially vicious. These folks know where many seniors are vulnerable. Donors are made to feel like they're special and have joined some sort of insiders club. You see that kind of verbiage on these forms. It preys upon their loneliness and desire for community. When seniors get in senior centers, nursing homes, assisted living centers, one of the strongest emotions they often feel is isolation. And this desire to be part of something is very powerful. So, they do this, they make these donations, these recurring payments, and they often don't find out until it's too late that they've been scammed. This behavior, my friends, is outrageous. And quite frankly, there aren't many laws to protect the elderly against this abuse. There has been efforts made, there are continuing efforts made, but they seem to be running into a lot of legislative brick walls. What's the moral of this sad story? Number one, look at every communication you get from a political campaign or a politician. Assume that they're trying to get your money. Assume the worst. Look especially for any and all checkboxes. Find these boxes and uncheck them. If you still want to donate, make it a one-time donation. That way you're not going to keep doing this recurring thing, which is what really does all of the damage. The next thing you should be doing is checking your bank statements and credit card statements regularly. That means if you can, check every day. Look especially for patterns. So for instance, a pattern of many donations in small amounts. Okay? These small donations are easier to miss, and that's the whole point. Okay, next up. If you have elderly parents or relatives, please let them know this is going on. Let them know to check. Okay, ask them if they've checked, follow up, and if you can, check their statements yourself. And finally, consider not donating to political campaigns online at all. It seems to me like once you're in their clutches, it's almost impossible to break free. If you do have to donate, consider writing a check instead. The campaigns will have your home address, but they can't abuse you with things like these boxes checked by default. And remember, you can always throw a solicitation letter in the trash. And that's, of course, not the only kind of elder abuse that occurs. There's real physical abuse happening to many of our senior citizens, and I've started a little campaign of my own to help fight against elder abuse in this way, and I would love your help in bringing these abuses to light. So click on the video that you see here to see that one, and thanks.